All right, Brad. Welcome
Hi,
to Life
Skye.
Before the Virus.
Hi, Skye.
What's
How are
up?
you?
Where are you, Brad?
I'm outside on a beautiful day today. It's Saturday, although I know you won't be airing this on Saturday, but we can remember what beautiful day Saturday was. And I'm just cleaning up my beautiful motorcycle collection of Harley-Davidsons. As you can see, those are gorgeous bikes. And it keeps me busy during these COVID days where we have a completely different life than we had before. So riding a bike is great isolation, and it's great to get your mind straight. At the same time, it's not bad spending some time cleaning, although I'm not a big fan of cleaning anything.
So is your family home with you?
Yeah, I'm home with my family, my daughter, my son, my wife, my dog. And it's sad what happened to them. You know, my daughter's senior year in high school, gone. My son's freshman year in college, gone. What will be, for next semester for them going to college, I don't know. And what's going to happen in September, it's just, your guess is as good as mine. And it's just surreal living like this. But at least in the suburbs, I have to say, and I was never a big fan of the suburbs, at least you have some room to move.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got a little bit of a bigger house, you've got a yard, you've got some things. I'm not trying to rub it into those Manhattanites, if you know any. But you know what? I have second thoughts about being in suburbia right now. I like it.
Okay.
I may begin carrying the Long Island flag, whereas opposed to months ago in my entire life, I always liked New York City. I always liked Manhattan. But, I think there's good in both places now.
I agree. I mean, it's hard living in a one-bedroom apartment and doing everything, working out, filming the show, eating, sleeping, doing everything in a one-bedroom apartment is difficult.
Well, it would be difficult for most people, but for superhuman people like you, Skye, I bet you're able to cope and handle this terrifically. And look what you've become. You've become a major television star now. This whole television thing before the virus, before COVID, before Corona, it's everybody's talking about it.
Right.
You look great, and you ask such great questions. So what do you want to ask me?
So tell us what you were working on before the virus, Brad.
Well, I was working on a lot of things. I was a lobbyist. I'm a lawyer. I just got this doctor right out of a bad deal he had with a hospital. And if he didn't get out of that deal then and get paid out at that moment, this guy would have got stuck in the Corona situation and would never have gotten a nickel. And so it's amazing how I look back on that moment in time on how this guy just got the payout right before this whole thing slid into Never Never Land. And he's now able to, having sold his practice, he was able to make the money that he needed to move and to support his family. But, these deals, many deals fell apart just because of COVID and the timing of everything. And then, on the government side, I was going to Albany every week. You're doing my client's business with the government. And then suddenly, that just stops. And it's just amazing. So it really was a game changer. And I was running for mayor as well, which was, I don't want to bring that up today because I don't want to politicize the situation or second guess what any elected official is doing, because we are really in uncharted territory and it's no time to second guess our leaders, and everyone's just doing the best they can under the circumstances. So I'm not going to talk about me running for mayor.
So are you working at all still?
I'm working out a lot. Yeah, I have the weights downstairs, a full gym. I'm more muscled up than ever. I'm strong as an ox. Well, what'd you ask?
I asked if you're working, not working out.
Oh, yeah, I thought you asked if I'm working out. Oh, I'm sorry.
Have you been working out?
Yeah, I'm working. Of course I am. I have clients with Corona issues, and I'd rather not get into it publicly. But point is I must have 7, 8 clients that have Corona issues, that everything depends on the government. And given the circumstances that we're in right now, their whole business is in jeopardy. Their whole business model is in jeopardy. They're just such important issues that have to be dealt with and are being dealt with. but it's, you know, it's just such a unique time, because whereas previous to this, clients really mattered and they still matter, but now some of the issues are so critical because they involve so many tens of thousands of other people that are working for them, where they could be on the unemployment line. So this is really an interesting period of time for my business. You know, I'm just hoping every 2 weeks that I pay my employees and that I can serve my clients properly. That's my goal.
So are your employees working from home?
Yeah. Everyone's working from home. You know, I give them a big thumbs up. I never thought that it could work like that. I was always one, like, you got to be in a central office. You know, you have to see people. You have to be able to talk to your own people. But, you know, I learned that these days it really can work decentralized. And I think that's going to change. I think, you know, like real estate issues in terms of like office space, who needs such big office space anymore? I think people are going to rethink how they do business. I know it's been rethought of a few times, but I think this is going to give us another reason to rethink how we do business.
And you're always one to think outside the box, and you have a lot of unique and cool ideas. And you were actually one of the first people that said we should be quarantining ourselves. Like very early March, you said we should have a 14-day quarantine for all. And people thought that was ridiculous. And now look. So
yeah, thank you for reminding me. Yeah. You know, I was the very first person to call for a full quarantine for 14 days while this was starting to hit our shores. But look, again, I'm not going to second guess what everybody's done. I think, Skye, you said it to me and others have said it to me that like people weren't ready for it at that time. And it makes sense. You know, how could you be ready? Nobody was dying yet. Nobody was really getting very sick. And sadly, it took that for people to understand. You know, I'm no genius. I just said, look, we might as well bite the bullet early rather than bite it later. In the end, it probably wouldn't have been a 14-day quarantine. We would have been quarantined just like we are today. And I think our government has been doing the best job they can. We're unfortunate that we're in a dense area of the world, and we have a lot of travelers in the New York metropolitan area that come from overseas, from Europe, from China, what have you. And, you know, anytime something happens, it happens big here in New York, on the good side of the ledger and on the bad side of the ledger. It's kind of like the risk reward we all have here in good old New York.
So as someone who has such amazing ideas, what is your next big idea? Let's name it now.
I'm going to go motorcycling across the country. That's the big idea. You know what? Sometimes you have to look at events like this and say, what's really important in life? And is it really, you know, killing yourself every single day, or is there time that you should take for yourself and for your family? And I think I can do both. But you know something? Right now, having not taken a vacation in a long time and not seeing one coming in the near future, not getting on a plane, the only thing I got left is that motorcycle, and I'm going to show it to you again. Both of them. I don't know which one I will take.
So how do you know which one you want to ride on which day? How do you decide?
It's a really good question, Skye. I mean, I have to ask myself that every day. But what it comes down to is they're both Harley touring motorcycles, and they're used exactly the same. So I have to ask myself, do I want to ride on a bike with a beautiful amount of chrome, or do I want to ride a bike that's completely blacked out, or as we call it in Harley world, murdered out? So I love my murdered out bike, and I love my chrome bike. So it depends. It's like vanilla and chocolate. Which flavor do you want today?
Wow. So do you find that you dress differently depending on which bike you're going to ride?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. The dress has to be consistent with the bike. See, both bikes are black bodies. So this way I don't have to change much. And it's very easy for me to dress accordingly. But yeah, if I'm going to go with the chrome, I'm going to wear a little more bling. I can go with chains. I can go with long wallet chain, you know, that kind of biker style look. Mm-hmm. And then if I want to go on my murdered out bike, then I could be more ninja style. I think people like me more ninja, but I think they like the chrome bike better.
Which bike have you ridden more?
The black bike.
The murdered out one?
The murdered out one, yeah. The other one is newer. And I've had a lot of work done on these bikes. Some engine work to make it a little faster, some things to make it look darker. But the black bike is the one. This is the newer bike. It still has that new shine on it.
Now, have you gotten any tickets for riding either of these bikes?
No, I'm a very careful rider. Very, very careful. I ride the speed limits. I just enjoy the touring aspect of it. I enjoy just the cruising, the wind in my face. And, you know, it really clears your head because you have to be in the moment when you're riding a bike. It's not like you could say, let me think about that particular issue from work, because then you'll end up dead. I'm trying to avoid ending up dead before my time.
So this is really a hobby that has developed, you know, during your time in quarantine.
Well, it's been before that, but, you know, it really has grown in the last 6 months. And you know, who knows? Maybe next time we do this quarantine video, I'll have a third bike sitting here. Have you ever ridden a bike?
I never have. Would you allow your children on a motorcycle?
I desperately want them to get on the bike with me, but nobody will.
Wow.
Everyone is afraid of the motorcycles,
Yeah,
including my dog.
but that's what we're told. I mean, that's what I was taught as a little girl. My dad said, never get on a motorcycle.
That's what Jewish girls and boys are told. I was told, don't fight, don't play football, don't go on motorcycles, and don't get tattoos.
And what'd you do?
That's what I was taught. I did all of it. But one day you'll learn. You're young. You're famous now, again. You keep doubling down on the great work that you do. And you're a very, very special person. I'm glad and proud to say that I taught you absolutely everything you know.
Thanks, Brad.
Skye, you're the best. Thank you for having time for me on Long Island. Woohoo!
Woohoo!